Hey guys, I'm so excited about this episode. This is my very first podcast episode, and there are just so many things that I want to share with you. But first of all, thank you for joining me. I'm Yasmin, and I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. Yesterday was my 44th birthday, if you can believe it. And I'm like, you know what? There's no better time than now. Gotta keep moving forward, even though I don't think I am where I want to be with my career and with that type of stuff in my life. This has been a goal of mine. So thank you for joining me. Today is going to be a little feel-good episode, so I'm going to sprinkle some birthday magic on it. It was a nice day for me yesterday. I want to pass those vibes along to you today and talk about things that, make us feel good. Especially for us ladies, like in our 40s, ladies who are working moms, busy moms, ladies who are dedicated to a tough career, a full-time career, don't have time for themselves, sacrifice a lot for other people. I think it's important to take care of ourselves, but I think there's a lot of stuff that goes on in just the mainstream that are tools and techniques that are so heavily promoted that I just don't think work with our lifestyles. So the first thing, this first occurred to me when I was taking this class from, I would say, a well-known sort of spiritual guru. He had some coaches hosting the class, and it was all like over the phone, and it was 4 different classes once a week. And we had some materials that we were sent. We had a little Facebook group. It was all about stress reduction and whatnot. And really the focus of it was meditation. And I think there's definitely a place for meditation in certain people's lives. I'm not knocking it. I think breath work and, sitting in solitude, I think all that stuff is really, really important. But I think for a lot of women who are, busy dads too, like I don't want to forget about dads because they do a lot. They're working, they're helping take care of the family. These days, you don't see single income families anymore. It is dual income families because everything is so expensive. So we're all busy, we're all working. And I think the problem is just sitting down, closing your eyes, and slowing down your breath. Like for me personally, I just fall right asleep. So it just made me laugh because I was on these calls and I was really looking for, at that point in my life, this was about 8 years ago, I was really looking for a way just to reduce my stress because I just felt like I didn't have control over things. And I was just surprised at just the fixation on meditation. And there was another lady on the call, and she was like, I have 2 young children. I just don't have time to meditate. She's like, it's just so busy. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have time for it. And I really felt for her because at that point in time, I was working full time. My son was 2, but he was like a really high energy kid. I mean, toddlers, young children. Sometimes it's just hard to keep up. And when you sit down, you just want to either sleep or just take a minute for yourself and, drink a cup of coffee, drink a cup of tea, and just sort of like have a little moment of peace for yourself. But these coaches on the call were adamant. They're like, well, everybody has like 15 minutes a day. Everybody has 15 minutes a day. And they kept like repeating that this concept of like meditation was really the key to stress reduction. And I just don't feel like that's the case for some people. Quite honestly, I just don't think that everybody has that time in their day to just sit down, shut the door, close your eyes, and just be alone, and either not fall asleep or not, just doze off, not get called on by somebody in your family, by work. Like, I just feel like there's just too many distractions. And I'm not saying solitude is a bad thing, but I also think that, there's just a need for more rest, like just more sleeping at night. I think all of us are like seriously sleep deprived with all the things that we take on. And I don't know, what are your thoughts? I personally, at that point in my life, didn't feel like meditation was a key to stress reduction. I remember one time I was listening to like this meditation, this guided meditation, and I was working from home that day, and I was in my office, and I laid down on the floor, and I just passed out cold. Like, I was like, I can't find time to do it. I can't find a place to do it. This is not working for me. And so it's tough. I think it's tough. I think there are other better tools to feel good, to reduce stress, for a lot of people that we don't touch on. And I think it becomes so overcomplicated in the mainstream, and frankly I think it's because it's to make money. And I think it's sad at what it's become, because this this vulnerability is sort of being capitalized on, and I don't like that. So I'm just here to tell you my own personal experiences. I can't do it. I can't meditate. I'm at this point in my life, I'm a server, and I run around restaurant like 10 hours a day. My feet hurt when I come home, and when I close my eyes, I fall asleep. And before I go to work, I try to get a little workout in. Like, it's just, and when on my days off, I try to spend time with family. Like, everything's so jam-packed. But I agree that we do need to find ways where we are connected to nature. We are able to connect with ourselves. We are able to, do some breath work and just like focus on the breath and like calm ourselves down. One book that really, really helped me out was this one. It's called The Last Law of Attraction Book You'll Ever Need to Read. And it was recommended to me. It was just like a really crummy time in my life where I was really struggling with health and just a bunch of other stuff, and just wanting like just a change. And it's by Andrew Capp, and it's not a very, very thick book. And what I love about what Andrew did is he just simplified it, because I think, like I said, just things are overcomplicated, and just people are coming out with like book after book after book after book and rewriting things, but they're basically just saying the same things. And it's really, I think, when you talk about like attracting things into your life, manifesting, wanting to change things, de-stressing, like, I think it's just all about finding things you can do to make yourself feel good. How do we feel good? Do you go for a walk and look at nature? Like, that's one of the ways that I do it. Do you, just sit down and just on your porch, look outside with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea? I think that's a great way to go about it too, and just giving yourself a little time to focus like on your breath. But I think he's really managed to sum up just some nice little ways to feel good, to help you think about the things that you want in life, help you visualize some of your goals, get you excited about your goals. It's a great book, and it's a really, really fast read. And the thing that, the reason why I ended up getting this book was I was like, okay, I want to change things in my life. I'm like not happy. I'm just really stressed all the time. And he talks a lot about like writing down what you want in like a way that you already have it. So you just write a story about, your future. Maybe it's like 5 years from now, maybe it's like a few years from now, and you're writing about, what you already have in the present tense. So I think it's just like, and he's got some other like great little ideas in here about how to manifest, how to like find ways to really connect with yourself and be in like a happier spot in your life. And I think that's what a lot of these tools people talk about are meant to do: make you feel happy, make you feel good. So I think that book, Andrew Capp, his whole sort of just like really easy, simple message, I think it's much appreciated. I think we need more people like him that just simplifies things in a day and age where honestly, like, it's like it feels like things are out of control. It's really sad just to see all the things that are going on in the world. So yeah, I really like that book. Another one that I really enjoyed reading, and it's again, I mean, for me, like when I think about sort of what I want and I let myself sort of daydream, it makes me feel happy. And I think when you feel happy, that obviously automatically reduces stress. And that was sort of like the whole point in me acquiring some of these books. So I also, The Magic of Thinking Big, I really liked this one. This is one that Steve Harvey recommended, and that helped him during his journey into the entertainment industry. And again, it's just like, I guess when I grew up, I was taught to just like really keep my head down, work hard, make sure that, keep your head up, keep moving forward, keep going. But there was never really any sort of emphasis or, nobody ever said like, it's okay just to like dream about what you want, it's okay to just sit down and think about like where you'd like to be or like what some of your goals are and just sort of like fantasize about those. So that book sort of opened that up to me like a little bit more, and it just really just makes me happy. So The Magic of Thinking Big. So just think about just in a perfect world, just something that you want to achieve. And it's almost like it's this ticket. That book was like my permission slip. Like, it's okay. You don't need to feel bad for thinking that way. You don't need to feel selfish. Like, you can still, you have responsibilities. You're still, committed to those, dedicated to those, but it's okay to think big. And so I think he did like a really good job of giving different examples of people who wanted to like change careers or do different things with their lives and how they went about attaining it. So that one's definitely a really good read. It's by David Schwartz, The Magic of Thinking Big. So I really like this one as well. And then the other day, me and my husband were talking, and I thought it was so interesting because I was thinking about this podcast. I'm like, oh my gosh, like another year older, I feel like I just haven't accomplished anything. Like, what am I doing? Like, I really wanted to do this thing. I've been like holding off on it. I don't know how to go about it. And he's like, oh, well, why don't you just make a plan? And I'm like, okay, you're right, make a plan. So I don't know, I was just on the couch, just sort of staring off into space, like trying to think about it. And just like randomly, all these ideas just kept coming to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. I'm just, whatever, just for some reason, just the universe is popping all these ideas into my head. And it was so just these like little aha moments, and it was wonderful. And, it got me thinking about just, again, solitude and the importance of solitude. And I went back to him. I was really excited. I'm like, oh my God, I was by myself. I came up with some ideas. And he's like, oh yeah, babe, that's great. That reminds me, that's what Brian Tracy said. And I don't know if you know about Brian Tracy, but he's been a motivational speaker for so many years. And like before we had our son, we would like watch him on YouTube, and a lot of those videos that we used to watch, I think they now have put underneath like the Brian Tracy channel, but before there were just like tons of these videos that people had recorded and just like uploaded to YouTube, and it was all of his like speeches and talks, and he would travel the world doing talks to teams of salespeople, because that's where he really started his career in sales, and he became extremely successful. And he just talked about like sales techniques. He talked about how to create goals for yourself, how to achieve those goals, how to just basically make it happen, like how to make a better life for yourself. And so he's just like a super, like just his message was, I think what draws me to people, to like these influential people, are the ones that just really keep it simple for you. Like when it just becomes so over the top and extra, like, you know, those people that just talk a lot and then there's just no content, there's no substance, and you're like, well, okay, I didn't get as much as I wanted out of that. And I know for some people, you know, maybe they're trying, whatever the case is, but I really resonate with those people that are just like, it's just simple, like this is how we're gonna do it, and I will walk you through it. Hold my hand, we're gonna do it together, and we just move forward. And he's like one of those guys that was it was just so easy to follow, like what you needed to do in order to get to where you wanted to be. And I think part of his message was, you know, what's that one thing you need to do to achieve all the rest of your goals? And it would just be, and it's like, oh yeah, so like what is that one thing? So we concentrate on that one thing, and then it's like this ripple effect. And I have so many of his books. This is one of them, Goals. Love this one. There was one, like after every chapter, there's basically, I guess it's sort of like a workbook-ish, where after every chapter you're doing something, you're writing something down. He helps you through like creating these goals. And there was one part in it where it was like, okay, so in order to achieve this goal, you write it down, and then underneath it, you write down what you need to do. And then for that action item, underneath that, you write down all the things you need to do. And then underneath those action items, you write out what you need to do, and you keep going until like you basically have this, it's like this like web, this crazy list of like all the things that you need to do to be where you want to be. And so his goals book is really good. There's another one, I think he wrote it with his daughters, called Eat That Frog. So it's just about stop procrastinating. And I'm not much of a procrastinator, but there were a lot of good lessons in that one. There was another book on No Excuses, again, really good. And I think, like, you know, like my example of just waiting to do this podcast, you know, it was just excuse. I'm tired. I don't have the equipment. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if it's going to be successful. Maybe there's no point in doing it. And he calls it, you know, being on the island of excuse-itis. And I needed to vote myself off that island because I don't want to make excuses anymore. And so just having some of these people, some of these influential people who have been successful, giving you some of these tips is also, I think, you know, that also for me personally helps with managing stress, because when you're just sort of just in this grind every day and you're like, what am I doing? Like, how do I get out of this? I just feel like trapped. What do I do? And it's just one of these, I guess, tools you can use to help you. And he has all these like little cool tricks. Like I said, like he was the one and who was talking about just being in like solitude. And he's like, if there's anything that you want, you just sit down for like by yourself. Just sit down by yourself, and it'll and think about sort of like, okay, this is what I want, and ideas will start to come to you. Your brain, your subconscious will form ideas when you're just sort of in the quiet by yourself. So I think that's you're in the car, you're, I don't know, waiting to pick your kid up from school. You have some like a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Like, you can be in solitude. You don't need to be on your phone. You don't need to listen to the radio. Like, we just have so many opportunities, I think, when we are distracted with when we do have like moments where we're waiting or between things, when we can just sit in silence. And I think it's a great little technique. And he has so many more. He's just, honestly, that guy's, if I ever met him, I would shake his hand, because I think he is just one of those really pivotal like speakers that really like change things for a lot of people. And I know there was like Jim Rohn and those motivational gentlemen of that time period who also influenced other people, like Tony Robbins. I think Tony Robbins actually worked for Jim Rohn for many years before he went off on his own and just started his empire. So it just goes to show, sometimes some of these people like Brian Tracy really just had it all figured out in a time when, these types of practices weren't really like popular, which is really cool to see. I think for me, like, those are the things that do help with stress. Like I said, just maybe a little walk by yourself, maybe just sitting in silence, daydreaming about where you want to be, writing down how you want your life to be, like in the present tense, reading some of these great authors. I think that, definitely helps with like managing stress, because it feels like, okay, you can do these things, you can move forward, like you can make progress. I don't know, that's about it. I really appreciate you guys joining me today. Like I said, this is the first one. I hope some of this stuff like will help you in your lives, and some of these authors, if you haven't already read these books or seen any of this material, like I said, like really, really great. And I think it will some of those lessons may go a long way in your lives. See you in episode 2. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.